Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the King of Smut 95 plays Langrisser Mobile. Okay, and in today's episode, I'm just going to continue on with the tips and how to basically continue working on your characters in the game. So, in the previous episode, again, I've told people that I've reached level 60 as the team level, and I'm slowly building up my characters to bring up the rest of my main characters up to level 60. Okay. Now I have been working on this game for 4 months now, and now I'm approaching my 5th month playing this game. Okay, and again, being very started and stuff. My strategy, what I'm doing is I'm going to basically concentrate on taking my core, let's say 8 or so characters, basically get all their abilities and their class changes all taken care of, so that they're all leveled up and done to the to their final class that they need to sit at, and then basically put enough XP potions and that stuff to make them level 57, 58, around there somewhere, and then basically leave them alone. Okay. Sure, I continue working on getting better equipment on them, leveling up the equipment and that kind of stuff. But in terms of getting their level, I'm gonna level them up to around there, and then basically I'm going to continue using them to to do my daily grind, to get my experience points, to do my my different various battles and the missions and that kind of stuff, and all the promotions that come up. Do them with that, and so they will gain experience points naturally. Okay, so I'm just gonna coast to level 60 using those levels from them, instead of using XP potions. Okay, I can use those potions then to then level up some of the new characters that that I recently got. For example, like Elwyn and Leon. Get those guys up to the appropriate level, and again do the same thing. Complete their class changes, and use any rune stones I need to make sure that I do all the various class changes needed to get all their abilities. Because once I got their abilities in place, once I get their levels up in place, then the stat segment, okay, of building a character, maxing out the character is done. Okay, it will be a self-completing process, and then so once we're going through this process of maxing out your characters. Those are probably the first two things that are shall we say, the easiest things to do with your character. Basically, max out what classes that you want your character to be, and then i.e. get the abilities, whether it's spells or soldiers from those classes, all taken care of. Okay. Get your level taken care of, and again, my strategy is to go to level 57, 58, 59, whatever, and then just let them coast all the way to the end. Because if I level them up to level 60, then they're not going to get any more experience points anyway, and even if I continually use them, they're not getting any more experience points. So, in a way, that's sort of like wasting experience points, because I know, like in Pokemon Go, even though you reach level 40, the game still keeps track of those experience points that you continue to get, but they have no effect in the game. So a person like myself can be at, say, 5 million experience points, and there's be other people who are also level 40 that have 200 million experience points. Okay, that 200 million experience points and my 5 million experience points, there is no physical advantage in the game that's gained by that gap of experience points. So, to capitalize a little bit of of your XP potions and that kind of stuff. That's why I've decided to just not go all the way up to episode 60 with them. Just I'll dial it back a couple levels, and then I'll use those XP potions on some of the other characters and try to get them leveled up. Again, this is the way I decided to play it. I mean, other people will say, no, just make your main characters as powerful as possible, so that way you can complete higher levels of different things and that kind of stuff, and progress that way. Where I've decided I'm gonna bring up the the general level of all my characters up higher and bring them up faster. Probably because the my strategy is to basically try to get more points and that kind of stuff and do more grinding with the guild wars to get the guild points and basically have more guild points to purchase the things inside the guild shop. All right. So by doing that, if I have more characters available to me to use in the guild, to grind the lower levels, so be it. That's why my minimum lower level is a lot higher. Okay. To continue the point of how to basically maximize your characters, the first two steps again is to get their classes in order, to get their level sort of in order. Okay. The next sort of things that you can sort of do to your characters to make them stronger, okay, is to get better weapons onto things and get more enchantments onto those weapons. Okay. Now again, when you're at the you're the lower levels, like say like 30 to 40 to 45, okay, most of the things that you're gonna getting are these SR weapons, or gold colored weapons. And and slowly you'll get one or two of these SSR weapons, and they may not do what you want it to do for your main character, but it's the best thing that you have at the time. So you power it up, the best that you can. You level them up. You basically strengthen them. You throw enchantments on them, and hopefully you keep getting better enchantments, better percentages, and that kind of stuff. So you want to try build those up as you can, because those will make a little difference. Okay, again, as I mentioned earlier in this game, there's not one thing that will give you all the best sort of abilities and that kind of stuff right away. It's a combination of a lot of different little things and little percentage upgrades, so that the total of all these little upgrades and little percentages will have a bigger total effect on your main character. Okay, so the next thing that is probably the easiest thing to not really should max out or to improve is your weapons. Okay, so let's get those weapons up to level 50. Get all the necessary materials and that kind of stuff. Use your guild points if you need to buy the necessary materials to upgrade your weapons, to basically use to get more of that rare material. Okay, and those epic rare materials to basically upgrade your weapons and your SSRs. To make your characters more powerful. Okay, and you will notice that as you get more powerful, you're able to to complete things like the dragon, the goddess trial, to complete and basically defeat those dragons. That will help you get SSR weapons. If you get more of those friendship bonuses, friendship points and arena points and that kind of stuff. That also gives you some abilities to get some more SR weapons and SSR weapons and that kind of stuff. So slowly and surely you're going to be able to get more and more of these type of things to help your characters. And again, as you get the appropriate weapon for your main characters, you can then hand those those weapons you're no longer using down the chain, so that your less important characters now get the hand-me-downs from your main characters. Okay, and you can continue to do this up to level 60. And I've going on playing along this game, and I remember when I was using my main character Sherry, went back in the level 30s and that kind of stuff, and I was so impressed that that she can come up to something and use lightning on something, and she does, let's say, 4,000 points of damage, and it and is able to easily knock out my opponent. And I thought, okay, wow, 4,000 points of damage in one shot, that's awesome. Okay, and then of course, you start doing some team battles and that kind of stuff, and you see some other guys that are much higher level than you, and they're also using Sherry, and then you notice that, oh my god, now she's doing, they've got guys that do like 10,000 points of damage using lightning. Okay, and so not only does making your level of your character that much more powerful, but also the way that they've equipped them. Because now that I'm up to close to level 60, and I'm using Sherry on the same sort of levels that these other characters are, the other guys who are now quote level 60ish or whatever. My Sherry can produce now like 10,000 points of damage or whatever. But then these guys that I'm going up, they're doing now 15,000 and 19,000 points of damage. Okay, they've got so what are they doing that makes their characters just that much more powerful than the ones I got? Again, as I explained, they're slowly maxing out all the abilities and stuff of the characters. So they've obviously done all the different proficiencies of the characters, the classes. They've upgraded all their weapons, and now the other things that they probably have done is they've also now leveled up all their troops. Okay, and again, in the case of Sherry, you can basically stock her with basic griffins or something like that. But for those people who have managed to unlock and spend all that extra time with the Niki training and that kind of stuff, they've now done and improved her so that she now has angels, and not only just level 1 angels. They've leveled up the angels to like level 10, so they're the angels have maximum ability, maximum magic defense, and that kind of stuff. So they're also adding to the total strength that Sherry is. Okay, so that's another way that you would improve and max out the ability of the particular character. So again, work on improving and maxing out and building up the strength of the troops. Okay, and then also of course one of the ones that sort of things that a lot of people sort of miss is the bonds. Okay. Because again, doing the internal story, collecting up all the memory shards and that kind of stuff for the characters, that's another way that you can not only improve the hero itself, the troops, okay, is to basically go through the bonds. And again, I think when I was talking to one of my friends who've also been playing this game, and now I've surpassed them in the level, playing the game. One of the things that I think that a lot of beginning players who are familiar with Warsong and familiar with the previous version of Langrisser is that when you first start playing this game on this mobile version, a lot of people, especially who have played this game before, are really concentrated on building the story. Okay, they want to go through the map, complete each level, and then sort of go to the next part of the level and then complete that stage, and then go to the next part of the map and complete that. So they are thinking and playing the game like they would have played it on the Sega Genesis or the PC Engine or the Super Nintendo. Okay, that's sort of the way that they're thinking that this game is played, and it works, and it works for the most part. Okay, I mean, let's not make any mistake here. You can play that game and play it this way pretty well much till about level 30 or so. Okay, then you have to start now changing the way you play the game a little bit so now that you're no longer paying attention to the story per se, the word, you're now paying attention to more of the each individual character and the abilities of the character. So now we're getting to the quote maxing out the character part of the game. Okay, now this doesn't mean that you can't get more out of the story. Okay, the more out of the story, or getting different parts of the story, comes from what they refer to as the time rift. Okay, so which is again sort of shortened down version, compacted sort of versions of the map of, let's say, Langrisser 1, 2, and 3, all put into a shortened format. Okay, and so this allows you to play the story, but in a different way. Okay, and so I think a lot of people that are playing the game, maybe have a little problems switching over from basically playing the story on the main map to playing the sub-stories from Langrisser 1, 2, and 3 on the time rift, okay? Because that's a different kind of way to get more of the story. But in a sense, it also is the way you have to open up the resources needed to help you with your grinding, okay? So that's sort of the connection that I like to make there for those people who are in that sort of situation where you're playing the game, the way that you would have played it on the Sega Genesis or the PC Engine, but then you kind of got stuck because your characters weren't strong enough. Now this is where you got to kind of think, okay, now I can continue playing a different kind of way the story is by doing the time rift and using those resources from there to help build your characters so that you can go back to doing the main map story, okay? And to add to that, the other part of the story building that's in this that's built into this game is, of course, the bonds, all right? Because now they've made it so that basically every character, or mostly every character, has his own story or her own story. And you have to play through that part of the story to get the shards, and then of course using the shards you can continue to basically sweep them and get more shards to basically build up your character. And again, that's another way you max out your character. You want to get your characters to 6 stars as quickly as possible, because then that basically improves their ability, improves their stats to make them more powerful. Okay. After you get them to 6 stars, any extra shards and that kind of stuff that you get what they refer to as like memory shards or memory essence, okay? And of course, by collecting up the essence, you can use those in the essence store to basically buy other things to help you or get the materials needed to basically upgrade your weapons, upgrade your other things and that kind of stuff that you get in the game. So again, that's another important part of the game. Again, story related, okay? That people tend to avoid and miss out on is to go and do the bonds, okay? And that really does help, okay, to improve and max out your character, okay? So I'm going to continue working on building up my core set of characters, as well as continue raising the level of all my other characters. So again, I'm about almost 5 months in. I've got about 8 characters that are my serviceable team that I use for just about everything, okay? And I've basically used all the rest of my, leftover experience points, if you will, to basically raise up all the levels of all my, basic characters and whatnot that I get given in the game to at least level 45. So now that I can use those characters in the Guild Wars to basically just, at least maybe make a couple kills and get a couple experience points and get some of those points needed to basically get more guild points to spend in the guild shop, all right? And so I'll continue to do that to continue raising the base level of all my characters up to probably level 55 or so. So at least that way that they're have some sort of effectiveness in the guild wars, and I'll be able to get my 5,000 points per guild session, and in that way I can maximize on the number of guild points I get. All right, so I hope this this helps you out a little bit, because I know that there's a lot of people that are in that level 35 to maybe 45, maybe 50, which are getting into that point where, geez, I can't get really into this grinding. I don't know why my character's not strong enough. I don't know what to do next. I'm level 60, but my guys aren't strong enough to do this and that. This sort of is an extension of my previous episode. Yes, you have made it to level 60. So just like Pokemon Go, you made it to level 40, but there's still more to the game that you can do. Okay, and the more that you can do is to basically focus on now the individual characters that you have. Again, don't worry about so much the map and the story. If you can't complete those things because your character aren't strong enough, just do what you can do. Collect up all the things from your daily grinds and that kind of stuff from all the levels that you can do. And as you bring up the strength of your characters and that kind of stuff, you'll notice that things become easier and easier as the time goes by. All right? So, I hope you find some of the stuff very useful, and I want basically go down below now and hit like and hit subscribe, and I'll get into more episodes as I continue working at this game and finding out different things, and basically hopefully giving you some good advice on how you might be able to improve the way you play the game. All right? So, until next time, see you again.